All right. Perfect. Well, welcome anyone that is jumping on. This is our very first YMCA website services or digital services focused webinar. We will be doing these quarterly, and this is the very first one. We are going to focus this one on paragraph types. So it'll be a good refresher, a good just kind of base point that you can come back to for some of those most commonly used paragraph types and some that you may have forgotten about as well. So we'll just give everybody another minute or two to jump in, but we're really excited to dive in and get started. All right. And maybe just as a reminder, this is Zoom webinar. So it is just a little bit different than our typical Zoom meetings that you may be used to. This Zoom webinar does not use the chat. It does use the Q&A box instead. So if you have questions, please feel free to put them within that Q&A tab, and we will get those answered as they come in. You will be able to see answered questions as well. So you won't be able to see the questions as they come in, but as soon as they're answered, they will pop up within that answered tab. So, all right. Well, Christina, Chrissy, what do you think? Are we ready to get started?
Go ahead. Let's get started.
All right. Well, once again, this is our first YMCA focused webinar. This is on paragraph types. Today on the webinar, we've got myself, I'm Jordan, the operations director here at OneEach. We also have Chrissy and Christina, your account managers, so you may see some familiar faces there. We will be all kind of sharing the presentation today. And we just wanted to throw up a poll. We've got some news about Virtual Y that we will be sending out an email to everyone regarding Virtual Y, but wanted to just quickly poll the area on if you are actively using Virtual Y or not. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll now. And if you could take a minute to answer that when you have time. If you're not sure, that's okay too. You can answer not sure, and we will make sure that we're reaching out to you after this. Give everyone just a second to answer that. And while we do, I will talk a little bit on Virtual Y. The biggest update is that the YMCA website services or digital services team, they are really going to be shifting their focus to Y360. They will be maintaining the Virtual Y code, but they won't be updating it anymore. So we just want to get a head count of how many of our customers are using that module so we can make sure you're in the latest version, or if you are not using it, we can take that off of your site and get you some information maybe on Y360 if that's the route you'd like to go. So again, we'll send out some communication there. I'll go ahead and end that poll. Thank you, everybody. And we will continue to move on. All right, our agenda for today. It's a short one today. We're walking through, again, some things you may already know and maybe some new things hopefully you haven't looked at in a while. We'll be covering kind of the 5 most used paragraph types, the common ones that you really see on a lot of different sites. We'll cover some 5 maybe hidden gem paragraph types, or maybe some that you forgot were there or you haven't really explored that often. And then walking through some 1-column and 2-column test pages that are a really great tool and resource for you guys, especially as you're getting training on your site. So with that, I am going to go ahead and pass it over to Christina, and she is going to walk through the most commonly used paragraph types.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jordan. Yes, so we're going to kind of just kick things off here with those 5 that we thought, as Jordan said, are the most commonly used when you're building out your pages. A lot of times when you're going in through your paragraphs, they're going to be your top 5 that you see as your options. So what I've done here is I've kind of just built out a page with these 5 paragraph types in place so you can get a visual idea of how they look when you add them to your pages. So the number 1 being your simple content. And this is the number 1 most used one. So it does allow you just an open content area where you can add any text and images within that content. Your simple content can be used within your content area as well as the bottom section of your page and this sidebar area. So again, just an example here. And then once I'm done kind of previewing all of these, I'm going to go into the back end and show you how you access those different paragraph types. So moving on from our simple content, the next one is our featured content. So your featured content paragraph type allows you to create equal columns within that section of your page. You also have the ability to have a title, some introductory text, as well as beneath your columns, you can have a call to action button. So all of these are not required, so you do not have to utilize them. But within your individual columns, as you see here, you can have a title, you have the ability to have text, as well as adding images and buttons within those columns. All right, moving along here. Next, we have what is our FAQ paragraph type. So this allows you to create a question and answer functionality. Again, so the FAQ can be used again in your content bottom section as well as your sidebar. So this is a good one, again, for that purpose, for your FAQs. But if you wanted to utilize it, say for just general feedback, information on your branches, you could do that as well. So lots of different purposes you can utilize that FAQ paragraph type for. All right, and then beneath that, we have what is known as our teaser. So your teaser is that it allows you to incorporate an image within the paragraph piece, as well as a title and some, kind of teaser text, something to grab their attention. This is most commonly used if you are building out a page, if you are not using the program and subprogram content types, you can build out your program pages using that teaser. So you would have all of your individual programs listed out using that teaser paragraph type and then linking to those corresponding pages. And last but not least, hopefully I'm not going too fast, try to slow myself down. You have what is known as your grid content. So similar to the featured content, it allows you to create those columns within your page content, but unlike the featured content, it actually creates that shadow effect. So it's almost like kind of you have that block that's popping out. So you'll see here where you do have that shadow effect around the border. Now within your grid content, you can have just text as seen here. You can have text with a call to action button, as well as you can have an icon image. Now the image will always appear here above your text, and same with your call to action button. It will always be at the bottom. And then I wanted to show what it would look like without that call to action button. So you'll see when you do not have that link in place, it does kind of increase that font size just a little. So you've got a little bit of variation there. But that kind of wraps up my preview of our top 5 here. And then let's go on to how we actually access those on the back end. So we're going to scroll up here and we're going to go to the editing side of our page. So again, these are all paragraph types. So you're going to be working within the actual content areas of your pages. So once you have your page open to edit, again, you'll be primarily working within that content and bottom area. So you would open up that content area, scroll down here to your drop down and select from your. Now, as I said, most of the time, these are going to be your 5 top ones. I do want to kind of plug in this listing here within your content types. We can adjust those. So if you've got a content type, for example, maybe these 5 that you do use on a very regular basis, and you find that you're having to kind of go hunt for them down in your list, you can submit a support ticket or let your account manager know, because we can always go in here and we do have the ability to alter this list and we can move it up to the top for you, just for convenience sake, so you're not having to keep kind of scrolling down hunting for it. Same with the bottom area. You're adding it through that drop down, selecting which content piece you would like to add. So we'll just start with a simple content here. And that's just, again, providing you with your text editor block where you can incorporate that text and image content if you so choose. And then the same if you decide to go with a two column layout, that is what provides you with that sidebar area, which will now show up right here between your content and bottom area. And you do have the ability to add, again, that simple content, the FAQ paragraph types. All right. Well, that's kind of my piece. It's short and sweet, but just wanted to highlight those 5 top areas for you. So at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Miss Chrissy. And yeah.
Actually, I'm going to take it back from you instead.
Oh, sorry.
Let's go ahead and share here. Hopefully everybody's looking at my screen.
Oh, yep. Sorry about that, Jordan.
Awesome. Thanks, Christina. So what I wanted to go through was some of the paragraph types that I don't see used out there very often, but I think are really useful. So I wanted to spend some time walking through them because I think they can definitely benefit the pages that you're working to create. And I think they just kind of sometimes get forgotten about in general. So I wanted to revisit those. The first one that I wanted to touch on was the Microsites menu. And that is what you're seeing in this blue bar here with these register now links, find your level, swim facts. The microsite menu you can add to any page, any landing page on your site. And it just kind of creates a secondary menu for you. So you can add in, maybe some quick links related to the page that you're on. So for swim lessons, I put a register now button. You could link this directly back to Daxco or whatever program registration tool you're using, maybe a find your level page that they wanted quick access to, or a swim FAQs page. And that could all live within your main site. To add a Microsites menu, you'll want to jump into the editing view of your page, and this can only be added within the header area. So you can't add it in the content or the bottom area. You actually won't even see it as an option within there, but within the header area, if we scroll down here, you will see that Microsites menu option. And what this does is it will ask you to create a block. So if you already have an existing, swim lessons Microsites menu block, you can pull that same Microsites menu onto multiple pages if you need, or you can add a new block. The other thing that I love about it is that it will let you hide your main menu. So if you really want to pull this page and kind of make it almost like a sub theme or a site within a site, you can choose to hide your site's main menu so that once a user comes to this page, they only can use that Microsites menu to navigate around. So I have it hidden right now. So let's take a look at, let's go ahead and save this. And let's take a look at that page. Whoops. So right now at the very top, you are where our normal main menu would be. You actually don't see that when you choose to hide that Microsites menu. So all I have is the menu here, or the buttons that I'm adding within the banner or any content within the page. And we'll go ahead and make that main menu display just so you can see both options here. So if I uncheck that box, my main navigation will show up. And I can also jump in to edit that Microsites menu as well. I can rename that block description. That is an internal field only. And I can start to add my menu links. So I can say, what I want them to say, where I want them to take someone. I can choose to open them up into a new window if I'm linking to an outside source. I can add really as many as you'd like. I've added 3 here, but it will give you blank spaces to continue to add more or add another item if you need. I will note, if you are choosing to hide the main menu on your Microsites menu, it may be a good idea to link back to your home page so users can navigate away from this page. Put a little home link in there. And then you can choose the color. You can choose up to 2 colors for that Microsites menu. I have blue fading into dark blue at the bottom. And then I chose white as the text color. But again, you'll have lots of options here depending on what color you'd like to make that menu. And if we save, we should now see the full site main menu up here at the top. And I still have my Microsites menu, and there's my home option there. So just different options to display that. Similar to the Microsites menu is the camp menu. And this is only available on the camp content type within the header area. It looks very similar to the Microsites menu. It's in that same placement. It will be on a blue background that is programmed into the code. So that camp menu will always be blue and will always have white text for the menu link font. To add this camp menu, you'll want to fill in the camp links. So when you're creating a camp content type, in the general info, when it asks you for the title of that camp, it also asks you for menu links up here at the top. And if you choose to use the camp menu paragraph type, it pulls those menu links directly from this area within the camp content type. So I went in and added some fake menu links here. I added a camp FAQs, important documents. Maybe you've got registration paperwork, you've got itineraries to go out. I added some just kind of simple menu links. I could continue to add more if I needed. But the way that I got those to show up was by then going into the header area of that camp page and adding the camp menu paragraph type. And you'll see I can't really edit anything with that camp menu. It's just a static paragraph type that I would choose to add from my list here. So the way that I'm, again, populating content within the camp menu is by adding these, editing these camp links, menu links up here at the top of the page. So if we take a look, again, very similar to Microsites menu, but slightly different in how you fill that content in. You can also choose to use a Microsites menu on your camp pages as well if you really like the ability to hide that main navigation. Maybe you choose the Microsites menu over the camp menu, but similar option here for summer camp. Moving on along here, the next one I wanted to talk about briefly was the date block. And I love the date block because I am a big planner and I like to be able to set things to publish ahead of time. And that's exactly what the date block allows you to do. So within this section up here at the top, I put in earlier a date block for camp registration. And right now I have the date block open. So it's showing camp registration is open, but I actually set it to close on a certain date and time. And then I set a message to pop up once it closed that said, hey, camp registration is closed. Please contact, so-and-so if you need additional information. And before it opened, I had a little pre-message as well. So I wanted to walk through kind of how to set up that date block because it is a pretty useful tool, especially when you don't want to make sure you are logged on right at midnight, turn something on, you can have the site do it for you. So jumping into the edited view of this page, the date block that I added here was just within the content area. Now it will ask you to create a brand new block for that content in there. Or if you happen to have an existing block of content you want to pop up, you can always pull that in. But it will ask you for a block description. I just called this one date block summer camp registration. Again, this is an internal field only, just so I can find it very easily when I'm looking for it. And then it's going to ask you for your start and your end date. I put the start date as today at 8 a.m. and the end date is tomorrow at 9 p.m. But again, if you have any type of registration period, you can always set the start date of that registration and your end date according to what you guys are going off of. Maybe it's swim lesson registration, summer camp registration. My daughter is currently in volleyball at the Y, so maybe it's volleyball signups for classes you could add within this date block. Underneath, there are 3 sections here. Content visible before the start date. So if you would like to have a message up saying, hey, coming soon, registration will be opening, make sure to check back here, at this date and time. You can put a little pre-message. I did that with a simple content paragraph type and just said, hey, camp is opening at this time and date. You also don't have to do that. If you don't want anything visible before your start date, you can leave that area blank. The area that you'll want to make sure you fill out is content visible between those dates. So what happens once registration turns on? We've got our, hey, camp is open, sign up today. This is in between the start and the close dates. And then content visible after end date. Again, I just put another little message in here that said registration is closed. Please contact us with questions. This again is an optional area. You do not have to put something in here if you don't want that to show up. Most times you really just want content visible between those start and end dates that you've added, but you can choose to put in, a pre and a post message, if that's applicable for you. So I love this date block. You can put this date block on any page within your site. So if you have content that you're prepping ahead of time, it needs to go live at a certain date and time, the date block is great for that. And if you do have questions, that I know the first one always makes me a little nervous setting up, reach out to your account manager. We can help you with that. All right, moving on along. The next one, I just wanted to showcase this one. It is the code block. I know in the past, or not in the past, but on your sites, most times when you're adding in code, you do have that source button within a simple content paragraph type, and you are welcome to use that when you need to add in little snippets of code. You can always use the source code, but what I like to point out is that there is also a code block within your site that is specific for embed code. So if you have embed code that can be standalone, maybe it's a YouTube video, maybe it's a newsletter, email sign up that you're wanting to embed, you can always add it in a code block. And the benefit of adding it within that code block is that then you can pull that block onto multiple pages. You don't have to kind of copy the embed code onto all those individual pages. You can add it in that one block and then just add that block to as many pages as you need. And just as an example, I wanted to show Greater Green Bay YMCA. This is I believe their DAXCO scheduling, but this code was put in a code block and then added to this page, and it's showing their full kind of schedule for racquetball and for their Y location. Another example here, which I believe is also DAXCO. I believe this first one is Group X Pro, and this one is just regular DAXCO schedules. Just again, this was placed within a code block and then added onto a landing page. And again, if they needed to, they could also place that code block on a few other pages. It would pull that same set of code across the board. Okay, any questions coming in? Okay.
None at this time.
Awesome. Well, I will go and touch on the last paragraph type that I wanted to, which is the membership calculator on the site. So I love the membership calculator. It's pretty cool. It works hand in hand with the membership content type. So in order to use the membership calculator paragraph type, you do need to make sure you have your membership content types filled out. When you do have everything filled out and working together, it will look very similar to what we're seeing right here. The color scheme up here at the top, that is set, that's programmed into the code, but you do have some options, and we'll go over what you can control and what is kind of set within the paragraph type. So all this verbiage up at the top, including the bar and which option best describes you, that's built into the membership calculator itself. But what you do have the ability to change is everything down below. These are all the membership types. So couple, adult, youth, those are all their own separate membership content types that are being pulled in. And what you can do is you can choose what you want to call that membership type. You can add a little description here, and you can add your own image. Most often we see little icon images of people, but I have seen another Y actually use images of people, and it looks really great when you can use actual images. But either one will work. It will format to fit nicely in this little box. And the membership calculator will help walk someone through signing up for membership online, so they can select the membership type that's right for them. It will drop them down to the bottom and have them click on a next button. The next button will take them to a page where they can select their branch location. So again, you also need to make sure you are using your branch content type if you want to use this membership calculator. It will show all of the branch locations that are available. If there's only one location, it will just show the one. They can select the location they would prefer and jump to the next page. And this is a summary page. So it will tell them, hey, here's the branch you selected. Here's their address, their phone number, their branch hours. And then it will give them a summary of what they should expect, per month. Their cost is going to be if there's a joining fee. And then on the complete registration, this will let you put a DAXCO link, for example, or a link directly to the tool you're using, your membership program tool, so they can immediately sign up online. So it's a very cool paragraph type that kind of walks users through the sign up process online. If we are looking at a membership content type, because we do need to fill that out, I just want to point out a couple fields. Again, you can put in that title. So this would be, adult membership, a little description of what that membership means. You can add in an image or that icon field down below. And then it's going to ask you for membership info, and this will be per branch. So you'll be able to select the location. You can put in the URL and link text. So this is where you would put that DAXCO link. DAXCO link goes here to this specific membership. You can say, sign up today or register now. Whoops. And then you can enter in the join fee and the monthly rate, again, for this specific branch. If you have this membership type at multiple branches, you can then add another membership info section and create one for each individual branch that you need. So I love this. I had one example I just wanted to show. This is, again, Greater Green Bay YMCA. This is how they are using the membership calculator. They've got a Join the Y page. They're using a 2-column page layout here with just kind of a quick, simple content up above. The membership calculator pulled through in the middle. And then on the sidebar area, they did use some FAQs to go through member benefits, referrals, and then a little contact us form at the bottom. So again, this will let users walk through signing up online. And when we complete the registration, it's going to actually bring me to DAXCO to go ahead and sign up online right away. Okay, well, that was it. Those are kind of the ones that I think are good reminders to have or to consider, especially that date block. I am going to go ahead and hand it over to Chrissy to walk through some 1-column and 2-column pages.
Okay. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen now. So now you've heard all about all these great paragraph types and content types that you have access to on your YMCA site. You might be thinking, "Ooh, I can't wait to dive into this, practice, try all these cool things out." So I wanted to share with you a couple features that you should have in your content types on your site. And that's the test page 1-column. And as you can see on here, this really gives you a walkthrough of all the different types of content that were talked about today, the paragraph types. gives you a space where you can actually go in and practice, edit the content, play around, get yourself comfortable using these before you actually start creating content on your site. So you can see like there's a teaser section, featured content section with the equal column, with the buttons, links, news post listing. I'm just kind of scrolling down to show you everything that's there. All sorts of things that you can practice around and play with just till you feel comfortable actually building that content. Yeah, there's a lot on here. There's even a web form space where you can practice web forms. There's the FAQs Christina talked about, blog post listing. It's all right here. If you don't have this, there's actually 2 of these that you should have on your site. You should have it in your content, and I'll show you where you can find it. But if you don't, you can always submit a support ticket at support.oneeach.com, and we'll get those added. You should also have a test page for a 2-column page where it really has the same things as the other one, but shows you how they appear with 2 columns and the different things you can do. Like you can have promo cards, simple content, all the same features in a second column, a sidebar column, which is really visually aesthetic on a page. But again, it has all the same paragraph types as we just looked at in the other test page that you can dive into, play around with, utilize for your own benefit as you're practicing getting comfortable. And then to access these should be in your content tab. So if you click on content, the easiest way to find these, okay, come on, is to filter. I like to put in test and then filter. And then these test pages should come up. As you can see, there's the 2-column, there's the 1-column right there. So if you don't see those in your content tab, like I said, again, please submit a ticket. We can definitely get those added for you. But going back to these, the easiest way to play around with these is you can, let me scroll back up here. As you're looking through these, you can go right into edit, right on this page to get to the back end. And then you can see exactly how it's set up on the back end, actually the header area, all the different content types within the header area. You can edit those, play around with those, so you can see how they actually appear on your test page once you create your own content, and then just save at the bottom. So you pretty much can get in here, do whatever you want with it. And the same goes for both of those test pages. So it's just a nice tool to have. So we definitely encourage you take a look at that, play around with it, or if you don't have it, make sure you submit a ticket so that you can have that on your site. I don't know. Should I say anything else about those ladies that you
Yeah,
can
I was
think
just
of?
gonna say I love these pages because there are so many paragraph type options that you have, especially when you are first learning. It is hard to remember what is the difference between the grid content and the featured content. Well, that's what these pages are here for. So you can get a visual of what that looks like as you're starting to learn. You can add, if there's a paragraph type that's not on here and you want to see what that is, you can always add it to this. This is your safe demo page. You can add something to it, see if you like it, and then add it to another page. So I use these all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I love these too, definitely. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much those 2 pages. I don't have anything else on that, but we really want to open this up for you for questions. This is our first webinar, so it's, we're used to a lot of questions in webinars that usually bring it longer. So it looks like we're going to wrap up a little ahead of time with the lack of questions, but please, this is your time. If you have any questions, you can put those in the Q&A and we can answer them live. We urge you to do so. Please don't be afraid. Just let us, we're here. We're ready to answer your questions. Anybody putting anything in there?
Yeah. Not yet. If you want to, while we're waiting, Chris, if you want
Yeah,
to go through the closing details.
yeah, of
Let's see if
course.
we-
So in closing, just so you know, all of our webinars are posted under your One Each support tab. Um, you can click in there and click websites and webinars, or you can go directly to them with this link here, support.oneeach.com/webinars. So we were quick to post them in there. They're great tools, great to share with your team if they can't make these webinars. We always make sure they're available to you. Again, I mentioned, if you don't have those test pages or if you have any other questions or issues when managing your site, you can always submit a support ticket at support.oneeach.com or also through your One Each support tab in your editing toolbar. There is a link in there at the top right to be able to submit support tickets as well, whichever way you prefer. And we always urge you to book a meeting with your account manager. That's what we're here for. Your contract includes unlimited meetings with each of us. We're here for you, and we want this to be a smooth process for you and your team. We don't want you to stress over anything that you're doing on your site. Please reach out to us. We're always here to help with anything you need. Our meeting links are right there. If Christina's your account manager, oneeach.com/Christina. And I'm oneeach.com/Chrissy. Yes, we have very similar names. But yes, please, it's real easy to book a meeting with us. Please, we encourage you to do so. And then, of course, we're going to run these webinars quarterly, as we mentioned. So our upcoming webinars, the next one will be Thursday, December 14th, followed by Thursday, March 14th, and then Thursday, June 13th. And we really would love to hear from you, what it is that you want to learn about, what's most important to you. If you're having trouble with things and you just can't figure it out, whatever it is, we'd love to have you submit topic requests to us. You can let us know as your account manager, or even better, we've developed a survey here. You can see the link at the bottom of the slide. You can fill that out, submit it, and that's very helpful as we plan moving forward. We want to make sure we're addressing the topics that you want to learn most about. So please, we encourage you to do that as well. But that's pretty much it. Unless there's any questions or anybody has anything else to add.
No, I think we're good. This has been a successful one.
Yeah,
Awesome,
nothing else from
yeah.
my end.
Yeah.
All right.
so-
Well, we just want to
Okay.
thank everyone so much for coming. We're super excited that we were able to start these and put them on. We can't wait for the next one in December. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to your account manager, reach out to your support team, or if you have a great idea for a topic for a webinar that you'd like to see, you can fill that in. But just thank you so much for coming, and we can't wait to see what you guys do with all these paragraph types.
Yes.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.